This is probably going to be one, a short video, or maybe not, depending on how much rambling I do, and two, probably very random, because it's just something that popped into my head and I needed to say it before it implodes inside my head and drives me crazy. For those wondering, the ball of fur is currently sat right next to me being petted, so if I look bizarre, I apologise. It's because I'm petting the dog, because he's furry and I love him. And I am also sat right in the last corner of my sensory corner, so that's all, well, that's shelving, but this is like calming posters and coping mechanisms, and that's a Harley Quinn onesie, and that's my sensory sock. But that's not what this video is about. Today I want to speak about how people are using or seem to be using their diagnosis or extra diagnosis or presumed diagnosis and diagnoses, because some people, like myself, have more than one diagnosis, as a way to get out of their bad behaviour, their disrespectful behaviour, their complete and utter just rude annoyance, because they can, because they've been taught that, because they've gone through parents and teachers and everything else just accepting that if they behave like a crappy person, it's because they've got a disability. When in actual fact, people with disabilities can still be crappy people. People with disabilities can still commit crimes and have understanding about things and understand why they do things the way they do things. It doesn't change the fact that they've done rubbish, bad things. All it does is add an extra complexity to the fact that maybe there's a reason why they did the bad thing. However, there are also people in this world who use it as a reason to be just a horrible person throughout. One of those people is Amber Reid. For those who don't know, she's a 32-year-old person in the USA who lives in Kentucky even, who's gone through now, let me do this, and I know this because I watch reaction channels, and I watched her for a very long time before her behaviour just got to a point where I was like, no, I can't watch you alone, I have to watch you through a reaction channel. And Amber Reid likes to strike people, but because I'm not using any of her clips in this, I'm just using her as an example, she can't copyright strike me, she'd have no basis. But let me go back. So Amber Reid lives in Kentucky. She has done since before the pandemic. She's gone through quite a few girlfriends, from what I can tell, on her 10 years on the internet, literally on YouTube. She has filmed pretty much every single bit of it. So Casey was her first girlfriend, although this person no longer goes by that name. I'm not going to explain why, because it's not my place to do so. And Amber Lynn accused them of some very, very, very bad things. She also went through Crystal, who I think, from what I remember last watching her, she is still friends with Crystal, but you never see Crystal or hear about Crystal other than when it's like Christmas or Amber Lynn needs something. She went through Destiny, who then went on to date. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. Who then went on to date Dana, and she then moved on to Becky, who also had a YouTube channel, who managed to get away from Amber before marrying, because she asked her to marry her, like she got engaged with Amber and then realised, oh shit, I shouldn't be doing this. Amber is not the person I want to be with. And Becky is now doing their own journey and doing their own thing, and I'm very grateful to see that, because Amber Lynn was horrible to her. And now Amber Lynn is with a person whose name has changed about 6 different times, who we all can tell is the same person just simply because they have the same tattoos as the person she says she was dating the last summer. They have the same voice. The only thing that changes is the extra octave that it goes in when Amberlynn chooses to, do her job and edit the video. And there's literal side-by-side comparisons of this human being everywhere on the internet because she's had lawsuits against her. But this woman goes by the names, from what we can tell from Amanda, as Wifey, Jade, girlfriend, well, my girlfriend as Amber calls her, and Frances. Now, I can't say any more than that on that lady because, to be honest, all I know about her is she annoys me and she bores me. Whereas, let's get back to the point. The reason I brought Amberlynn up is because this woman is 32, has said for years on YouTube that she goes to therapy, and I'm assuming that means like real therapy, not just counselling, because they are different. They have a big difference and variant in how you react to them, what kind of teachings the people are given, how people are responded to when they ask for therapy or what they do in that session, and the choices are very different in terms of, well, not only prices but also the extent of knowledge that someone has versus counsellor versus therapist. Now, there's also another word for it. Psychologist, psychiatrist, like they're, well, in the UK and the US actually, they're used interchangeably because I just think a lot of people use them interchangeably anyway, but because of the fact that they mean very similar things. Amberlynn is another person that uses them interchangeably and says that she goes to see both. One of those, though, is the only ones that can diagnose and treat with medication the illnesses that she says she has. So for Amberlynn, and I am quoting from my memory and from the fact that I have spent 6 years watching this woman on the internet, and all I've learned is her labels, her conditions, the crappy way she treats girlfriends, and the fact that she really doesn't seem to understand that people are rooting for her until she lies and we can see through her bullshit. But so far we've heard Amberlynn has binge eating disorder, OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, bipolar disorder, panic/anxiety disorder, that's her wording, not mine. My memory is really bad. Oh, she also said memory loss from really bad memory loss from childhood, from trauma that happened in her childhood, apparently. Let me think, what else has she said over the years? Oh, she says she's a food addict. Hang on, I'm going to use my brain. Hang on. And I'm going to go and look and find the image that I can't find the image, but while I was searching for it, thank you internet and Reddit, it made me remember a few more that she says she's got. Lipodemia, lymphedema. She says she's had uterine cancer. I can't really say much about that without feeling like I am doing a lot of people a huge disservice in terms of cancer and how it affects people and what it does to affect people. And I'm pretty sure that there's a few more on the list. And honestly, internet, if I remember any more, I will tell you. But right now I can't. Oh, I do remember one more thing. She also seems to say that she's got ADHD and suspected PTSD. Now, I am, and a lot of other people are truly frustrated with her because she will lie consistently. She's been proven in lies as well. She's she has done videos where she has said, I am sorry I lied, confessing everything I lied about, and I will find those links and put them down below because they are still up on her channel. She's been caught in lies by reaction channels when she's reacted to them, which by the way is slightly odd in my head because I don't understand why she doesn't want attention brought to her bad behaviour, but she's reacting to a reaction channel who is proving her wrong in her lies and proving that she lied. Don't be stupid. The best way you extinguish a fire is by putting it out. Like, she's causing the fire to get bigger and bigger because she's bringing more attention to it. She just needs to not bring attention to it, not consistently mention it, and it'd die down. This does not work for literal fires, for the record. I'm talking about like fires of people who are raged up. Now, I am generally, like, when it comes to people, confused by people because of my own disabilities. However, when it comes to my disabilities, I don't use them like Anne Boleyn uses them, which is to get away with crap behaviour. For the past 10 years, she has said that she has binge eating disorder, that she has always had binge eating disorder, that she was diagnosed at 16 and then diagnosed at 19 and then all of a sudden diagnosed in 2017, and like she's been diagnosed apparently 4 different times. But these diagnoses of every single one of them only ever come up when it's convenient to her, when she doesn't want to do something, when someone calls her out on something. Someone else called her out on drinking bottled water because, well, it's just not sustainable. Bottled water does literally nothing but make the world more full of plastic and therefore less sustainable and less, well, happy is how I put it. And she insisted recently, I'm talking literally this year, that she will not drink water from the tap because it's OCD intrusive thoughts to her that it's full of worms. Now, I'm not trying to devalue that in any way, but at the same time, she allows her girlfriend to drink from this in supposed infested water. She washes the pots in the supposed infested water. She showers, supposedly, in this infested water. Her dogs, her cats, her pets all drink from this supposed infested water. So if it's that infested and it causes you intrusive thoughts, Anne Boleyn Reid, why do they not process past your ridiculousness? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not saying that OCD is ridiculous. What I'm saying is I'd find it a bit strange that she chooses when she's going to pick this issue up and then drop it again. Because, I mean, I could be wrong, but surely OCD intrusive thoughts, they don't just disappear when it's someone else. Like, you want someone else to feel safe, so wouldn't she automatically tell her girlfriend, don't drink from that, that's got worms in it? Like, it's not a rational thought. I understand that, but I don't understand how she's totally okay washing the pots in it, giving her pets drinks in it, showering in it if she's so worried about germs and worms, which probably is a bit strange in my head. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. Then again, she apparently, if you don't know, ALR was £572. So she's severely morbidly obese. She recently apparently got approved for weight loss surgery, and that requires therapy. It requires a minimal amount of weight loss on her part. She's self-paying, which means they probably won't require as much from her because she isn't going through an insurance. So basically, I don't think any of it's much that regulated. And she went once to, actually a couple of times, to this dietitian and psychologist that they set up, and told them that she had binge eating disorder, only for them to tell this woman that she has to go a year without binging, which is completely reasonable, because not only, I think, would she have to go a year without binging, but she'd have to go to therapy for a year at least to be mentally ready for the giant change that weight loss surgery holds for someone. It doesn't just mean, oh, I can eat whatever I want for 11 months and then all of a sudden I get weight loss surgery because I went to therapy and I can eat whatever the fuck I want after surgery. Like, that's not how that works. However, when she went back to a different therapist, as she calls them, she went back and all of a sudden she's not diagnosed with binge eating disorder. She was misdiagnosed with it and she's just a food addict. So I don't think that's how that works. You can't just drop a label as soon as it's been given to you, especially one like binge eating disorder or any eating disorder. You actually have to work on it. And for years we've watched Amber Lynn Reid, and I'm saying we because I mean usually it's me and my pets or me and my support workers. Like, I'm not talking in general population, I'm talking myself and whoever I'm with have usually watched it or had her on in the background, and it's just like, okay, that makes no sense. And like, I've seen it, I've watched it, and I'm like, why are you just picking up this diagnosis and dropping it back down again as soon as it's not convenient? Like, this new therapist is apparently working with her to treat her food addiction, but that's not going to do a damn thing if she's still binging on the sides, or she's still got binge eating disorder. She just lied to this professional so that she could continue to manipulate the surgeon or manipulate nurses and doctors and therapists and everyone else involved in this process that could potentially save her life, so that she could get it faster, because she wanted it in summer. From videos, again, video evidence, she wanted it in summer. She got really pissed off that she couldn't have it automatically because she wants it there and then because she has gratification issues. Like, it's obvious from the way she behaves. She says, oh, I'm not a spoiled brat, and it's like, I want to see you not act like a child when you don't get what you want. You're like a child throwing candy or a dummy out a pram because you didn't get what you wanted there and then. It's the same with, like, her other disorders, though. Like, she picks and drops the disorder as soon as it's useful to her. Like, she used lipodemia and lipodemia, whichever one it is at the time, as a reason as to why she couldn't lose weight quick enough. But the doctors gave her a diet to help with the lipodemia or lipodemia, and then she did it for less than a week and hasn't done it since because, oh no, I'm having gallstone issues. But it's not infected, so they can't take it out. Yeah, but you're going to have issues regardless, love, because you are morbidly obese. They were putting you on that diet to help you. You refuse to continue because you refuse to take anything hard and actually do it. It was the same thing with Ozempic. For those who don't know, Ozempic is a drug that type 2 diabetics take to control their insulin and blood sugar levels, and usually comes with a side effect of nausea and fullness, i.e. not wanting to eat. And they are people who are now morbidly obese in the US, I'm talking about, because it's not covered here, it's not seen as any sort of appropriate here. There are people in the US who now take it as a way to help with their weight loss, help with getting themselves back on track with how much weight they need to lose or how much weight that they need to be under for a certain thing. Amber Lynn got this medication. She used it and then dropped it as soon as she could, basically. And as soon as another issue or another reason came for her to not use it, not use this medication that she has so much privilege to have. The USA healthcare system is rubbish. The USA has probably got the weirdest healthcare system I've ever heard of, but she apparently earns 6 figures on YouTube. She can afford anything and everything to put her life, to put her health first, and she chooses not to. She chooses to hide behind diagnosis or diagnoses as much as she can. In her most recent video, she said she hadn't been taking anxiety medication because she was told to be off of it because it was causing her issues. But surely if she was took off of it, then she would have been put on a different one or asked to try a different one, because her primary care physician would know about all this, unless she just isn't making sure that they communicate because she doesn't want one to know that she's told the other something else, which sounds a lot more likely to me, because here, and I'm pretty sure in other countries too, everyone can see your chart, your doctor's chart. If they know that they're seeing you that day, they can look it up. Obviously this is only within medical professions and medical places, but that information is there to view. If she was lying and manipulating, which is what I think she's doing here, she will then not tell the other doctors, the other people, that this is what they said, this is what I'm meant to be on, this is what diet I'm on, this is what medication I take, this is what exercise I do, this is what therapist I see. You'd have all that information on the top of your head that you'd want to see and tell a new provider. It's not just something you would not tell someone if they asked. And I know that doctors would ask that question, because they always ask, how are you doing? It's not just tell me your issue and I will solve it, because that's not always how it works. Anne Boleyn also for years treated the emergency room, or the accident emergency as it's known here in the UK, as the doctor's office. She'd run there for the slightest thing, not understanding that doctors there are there for an emergency situation, like life or death situation, not I have an owie on my tummy that isn't going away because I keep picking at it. Not I am really, really tired because I have shit sleep pattern or insomnia. She doesn't take responsibility for anything. She won't ever take responsibility for anything. Yes, a lot of her conditions can cause comorbidities, can cause issues within her. But having those diagnoses does not mean that she can use them as a way to behave like crap. She can't just say, oh, I do this because I've got this, that and the other, or oh, I emotionally eat because I've got this, that and the other. She has to find a way to work around them. Because yes, these things are permanent, but they don't give you an option, or they don't give you the get out of jail free card every single time. She can't go to a judge if, for instance, I'm not saying she will or she ever has, if for instance she ever goes to a jail or goes in front of a judge for doing a crime, and then she says, I didn't do it, you can't say I did it, you can't prove I did it, because I have OCD, or because I got distracted, or because I have insomnia, or because I have PTSD, or because I have trauma, so I have memory loss from trauma from my childhood. You can't do that. She wouldn't even, she doesn't seem to get that that's not how this works. I mean, it's the same with pretty much anyone who has a diagnosis. Sorry, I'm just fidgeting because I got pins and needles. It's like I say, I have autism. I'm aware I have autism. My autism does make me do a few things that are probably a little strange. I flap and I jump and I spin. That is self-stimulatory behaviour. I do that because of my autism. However, I do not say my autism makes me do this, therefore you cannot blame me if I hurt someone. No. If I hurt someone on accident when I'm stimming, I apologise and then try my best not to do it again. Whereas Anne Boleyn's thought process is, if I keep explaining away my behaviour with a diagnosis, then they can't blame me for it. Which, yeah, your behaviour is crap. It's not always to do with your diagnosis. That's not how it works. And I'm pretty sure, sorry guys, I buzzed on my phone, so I'm just going to double check something. Sorry guys, I was just double checking one of my facts, because I was about to say, yes, you can have both bipolar and anxiety, which is what she's claimed. However, she doesn't really think it all the way through, because she'd have a lot less anxiety if she actually managed her anxiety and bipolar appropriately. Like, she sleeps at stupid hours, if at all. She has zero exercise most, if not all day. She has a dog that I don't even think gets walked by her, who is also overweight even, and she doesn't go out. She doesn't go out, so she has zero time outside of her own head, because the girlfriend works at home. So the girlfriend will be at home working 9 to 5. Anne Boleyn probably sleeps during that time. I don't think she's awake at that time. From what I can tell with her videos, I'm pretty sure she's filming at night because the lights are on and it's clearly dark outside. And so she doesn't get any natural light, which will then make sleep really, really hard, because natural light helps melatonin production during the day. Melatonin is your sleep hormone. So during the night, she's awake doing things, faffing with a laptop, playing on a phone, playing Mario Kart, whatever she does during the night that produces blue light, which comes from your laptop, your TV, your phone. She won't sleep because she's just staring at that light. She's not doing herself any favours at all in terms of making sure that she is managing her symptoms of her diagnoses before she goes to see any professional. Because it's not, professionals can't do a fix-all. You have to work with them, not against them. Just like you have to work with your diagnosis to get through to be functional for your day. She just doesn't do that. What she will probably do is use her diagnoses as a reason to do nothing, or next to nothing, get her girlfriend to do everything for her. That way she doesn't have to try. She doesn't have to tick anything off. She doesn't have to attempt anything, because there's always someone there to do it for her. Regardless, I don't think it's right that Anne Boleyn can use her diagnoses as a way to get out of doing anything, to manipulate people, to lie to people, to behave badly, to shout and scream and yell at people when she doesn't get what she wants, especially food, because she says she will do that. And I don't think it's right that she can sit on her bum every single day, earn 6 figures on YouTube, put TikToks out that are harmful to others because they quite literally make an eating disorder look like it's an act, or make an eating disorder look like it is wanted and needed for attention, and all she does is just play victim. She's 32. I am almost 30. I have been through the care system myself. I've been through therapy myself, actual therapy, not just a counsellor I see once every 2 weeks. And I have been through trauma. I've also got a list of diagnoses, which for those who don't know, that's what the majority of my channel is about. However, unlike Anne Boleyn, I don't use it as an excuse to behave like crap. And I don't hide from the truth. And I certainly don't use my diagnosis and my past as a reason to play eternal victim like she does. Consistently, that's what you get from her. She will blame her past, she will blame a diagnosis, she'll blame a doctor. She'll never take responsibility for herself. And I don't think she will. It's now been 10 years. This woman is yet to learn that she has to be responsible for her own behaviour now. She can't just continue to blame her past at almost at 32, 33 this years old. She is a grown woman. No one else is going to take responsibility for your actions, Anne Boleyn. Please get a grip. Stop manipulating. Stop lying. Stop pissing about. If you need help, get it, but you don't need to put it all over the internet just for us to see through it and you to get angry because we see through it. Okay, I am done ranting. Sorry if it was rambly. I needed to say it because I've been watching her for so long now and it's driving me a little bit crackers. And the dog, for those wondering, is now asleep, hence why my arm is under the laptop. See you guys, bye!